Hey there, and welcome to the module Nutrition Basics for Burning Fat. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So first thing to cover here, again, is goal-oriented eating for fat loss. So the signal that we want to send to our body is that it needs to liberate fat, and we do this through a caloric deficit or an energy deficit. So eating a very high protein diet where nutrient density is prioritized will give us a good chance of doing this. And then when we are in a fat loss phase, there really is no room for highly palatable or easy to eat foods like processed foods. So we want to make sure that the quality of the food that we're getting is really, really high, and that we're strategic about the micro and macronutrients that our body gets when we're in these high stress phases of training. Hydration, again, is really, really essential for fat loss. So we want to think about getting our water intake above 70 ounces a day at least, or above 2 to 3 liters a day, depending on the size of your body and your basic need for training. If you're, again, doing that TIA mini cut, for example, and you're doing a ton of aerobic work outside of training, hydration is going to be something that you want to stay on top of as you begin to accumulate systemic fatigue and do these high aerobic output workouts. Some simple strategies for fat loss. Making sure that you're front loading your day with protein is going to be a great way to kind of mitigate those hunger cravings throughout the day and keep you a little bit more full and focused. So high protein, high fat to start the day, and then being strategic with your carbs around your training sessions. So again, adding carbs in 45 minutes before training is a great strategy, and then adding carbs into your last meal of the day before bed is a great way to kind of improve your sleep quality as well, to make sure that your body has the ability to adapt to the stimulus that you're sending to it. We want to reduce our carb intake outside of performance, so kind of eliminating those things around breakfast if we're going to have a high protein breakfast, and then we don't necessarily need them after training. In an ideal scenario where we're trying to prioritize recovery and set our body up for success and performance, eating carbs throughout the day is a great way to restore our glycogen stores, make sure we have the fuel we need for training. But again, in this scenario of fat loss, we want to signal to our body that it needs to liberate its own resources for us to have the fuel that we need for the training that we're putting our body through. So reducing those carbs is a good place to start before you need to think about reducing either protein and fat in the diet to meet your caloric needs. Last thing is going to be hydrating with salt and electrolytes between meals to ease hunger. You can also use caffeine if that's something that you've used previously to help kind of curb that hunger appetite or make it a little bit easier between meals for you. So these are just a couple strategies, and I would love to hear about your thoughts in the comments that are attached to this course. So go ahead and drop any questions that you might have there, or share strategies that you found really effective for mitigating some of these things like hunger cravings or whatever it might be in your fat loss training. Look forward to seeing you in the next section.